welcome to TMZ Live. There is new information in the Nolan Wells death case. Ben Crump, the family lawyer, laid out preliminary findings from the independent autopsy that the family commissioned. And he says there is evidence that Nolan may have suffered some sort of an injury to his skull.
It is the one thing that that their examiner was able to see. We should say the examiner said that the cause of death and manner of death undetermined at this point. But he did point to this area in the back of the head that he said had a red coloration. Now, that is all that Ben said during this news conference about that area.
The intimation was maybe an injury.
There could be an injury that was suffered there. We should say that we also know that we've seen other cases in autopsies where if the body is laying on, say, a slab, and remember, there was a separate autopsy done before this one, done by Jackson County. If the body is laying on its back for any period of time, blood can pool in the back of the head,
which could cause that kind of discoloration.
That could be it. But there were, but we just don't know at this point. There were other things that he talked about. For instance, the fact that Nolan's throat was not, when they received the body, was not there.
And that's not uncommon, right? That the medical examiner often will actually remove that area of the body so they can do further examination. Right. So that may well be what that is.
Right, and there's a similar case with Nolan's lungs. So there are some answers that the family definitely wants, and they're only going to be able to get it from the Jackson County medical examiner. The sheriff's department down there says they are still awaiting the results. And Ben Crump, I spoke to him just a little while ago, and this is what he told me about their exam and what they are hoping to get and demanding to get from the examiner, the medical examiner down in Mississippi. Ben, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Hey, thank you, Charles, for having me. Thank you for covering this matter.
Yeah, we have been all over this story, and I know everybody wants answers, and we are doing our best to try and see what we can find. But with this autopsy, the independent autopsy that you did, you mentioned that obviously, I think the part that people are really focusing on is that you mentioned that there was this discoloration, this red coloration on the back of Nolan's head. Did the examiner who looked at him have any inkling about what that might be? Could it be blunt force trauma? And I understand that the cause of death and manner is undetermined, but is it possible that it was blunt force trauma?
Well, he wants to be able to give his theories and opinions before the grand jury in Mississippi as to the possible causes of the red discoloration in the back of Nolan Wells' head near the occipital region of the brain. And so it's very significant. He concluded that it was undetermined, pending further investigation, the manner and cause of death. But he did find that very significant that you had this red discoloration in the back of his brain in that occipital region of the brain, of the head. Also, he found it very significant. He said that they did not send his throat with his body in the second autopsy. He said when he was the chief medical examiner of D.C., this is something that's common. He said normally he would do it when they were investigating and studying whether there were fractures to the neck or some kind of, compressions to his vertebrae.
Right.
So that is significant, he found. And the most significant thing he said, what is the crux of the matter that we do not know, and that is, what was the condition of Nolan Wells' body when he entered the water? Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or was he unforced into the water? He said those are going to be very significant in a potential drowning death case where you had a person who was able to swim.
Ben, was your examiner able to, I know you said that just like the throat was removed, what about the lungs? That you mentioned that they had, that the initial autopsy that the lungs had been dissected, but was your examiner able to see the lungs at all, or were they also removed?
No, they were able to see the lungs. However, Charles, remember the state medical examiner for Mississippi got to observe the body when it was first recovered. And that Dr. Roger Mitchell, the independent pathologist that we hired, he would not have seen the body until 6 days later. And the body had, as he said, severe decomposed. And it is one of those things that he is going to have to rely on photographs that were taken by the Mississippi medical examiner. We would believe that they would have taken photographs and their observations, whether there was water in the lungs and water in his airways. We know that some from the United Cajun Navy said that his body didn't seem bloated when they found him, that they didn't see his body as waterlogged. So all these things are significant as we try to figure out why Nolan Wells is dead.
Ben, how were Nolan's parents, how did they receive, when I'm sure before the news conference this morning, you had gone over the autopsy results, the independent autopsy results with them. How were they when they got those results?
Well, Charles, they were alarmed, as many of us were, at the red discoloration in the back of his head. They were alarmed that he didn't have his throat with the body. And they want answers. They have been very consistent. They do not accept that nobody didn't know anything, that nobody didn't see anything. And so when you think about the fact that Reverend Al and Mr. Tyler Perry and Mr. Terrell Owens has put up this $125,000 reward, that is because we know somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were over 300, 400 people out there on Horn Island that day. We, on our Nolan Wells tip line, we've received over hundreds of calls with video, people saying what they saw, people having photographs. And it's important that the people who knew something, who saw something, that they call us. Is critically important.
To that point, Ben, I don't know if you've seen, there's a video that we were able to obtain, and we posted this yesterday, and I don't know if you have seen it yet, but the person who shot it pointed this out, gave a copy of this to the police because they believe that it could be Nolan. There's an image of a young man who's bent over on the back deck of a boat, and the trunks certainly look like the same color that Nolan was wearing on July 4th. And I'm wondering if you're at any contact with any of Nolan's friends who might have seen this, who could say, yeah, that's him.
Well, my team of investigators and our team of lawyers have received that video and received many others. And we've received witnesses saying that they say it's Nolan, but until we can confirm these allegations, we want to be careful to say that witnesses have said that this is Nolan. And we also have videos where you have people having exchanges, disputes, and people have said that was Nolan. So we're trying to dot every I and cross every T because it's so critically important that this family gets answers, that the country gets answers.
You said something that is so true, where there's so many people who are out there in Horn Island. Whatever it is that happened to Nolan, even if it is accidental, but whatever it is that happened, it just seems implausible that no one has seen anything. I'm wondering if you are having any luck hearing from people who are actually on the island who saw him.
We are hearing from people on the island, and the Nolan Wells tip line at bencrump.com is getting a lot of hits and submissions. And that 800 number that we want to encourage everybody to call at the Ben Crump Call Center is 1-888-991-1772.
Okay.
And we are going to take detailed information from you.
Okay. What have you heard from, your independent autopsy is complete now. Have you heard anything from the sheriff's department as to when their results are going to be available, because obviously they have the throat. They were able to look at his lungs, and as well they're going to have the toxicology, which that's going to be the really telling thing here. Have you heard from them when those results might be available?
No, we haven't. And remember, our autopsy is not complete. It's undetermined pending further investigations. And they told us they're going to be transparent. So we're going to see if we can take them at their word. Furthermore, I think it's vitally important that we continue to underscore that the toxicology is important, but it's not the end all. Charles, if he went into the water with all those people on Horn Island, somebody knows something, somebody saw something, and that is the crux of the matter. That is what's going to be at issue. The cell phones, all toxicology, all play a part. But what did people see? Somebody knows what happened to Nolan Wells.
All right. Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you all for covering this matter.
Coming up.
Day 2 of singer David's preliminary hearing underway in Los Angeles today. And the focus today seems to be on his money.
And the idea here is that the prosecution is arguing that there was a financial motive to murder Celeste Rivas.
Be right back.
Day 2 of singer David's preliminary hearing underway in Los Angeles today. And the focus today seems to be on his money and how much money he was making as an artist on Interscope. And the fact that he had an album that came out, remember, they say that he allegedly killed Celeste Rivas on April 23rd. He had an album that was coming out within days of that. In fact, in the brief that the prosecutor's office put out, they mentioned that he did interviews the day after her murder, that he did an interview promoting that album. So,
and the idea here is that the prosecution is arguing that there was a financial motive to murder Celeste Rivas, namely that Celeste Rivas was angry at David because he had broken up with her and had threatened to go to authorities to say that he was having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old girl. If that came out, prosecutors say it would have ruined his career and he would have been dropped immediately, obviously, by his label, not to mention being prosecuted. It would have destroyed him financially. So that is the financial motive, prosecutors say, drove David to allegedly kill Celeste.
So on the stand today, we've had an Interscope executive, but also David's financial advisor during his time at Interscope, who testified to how much money he made, which I had no idea how much money David had made. What the testimony is that he'd made $11 to $13 million in 2 years.
In 2 years, but a lot of that could have been touring as well. And it wasn't just.
But my point is, as an artist, I didn't realize he was that.
Fair amount of money.
Yeah. And some of it was advances. These executives are laying out, the financial advisors and so forth, how much money he was bringing in. And I think it's to establish what was at stake, how much he could lose, because the Interscope executive who was on the stand talked about the termination letter that was sent in December of 25, just recently, to knock him from the label. All this money he had built up, buying houses. You could imagine that's the financial motive they're trying to really key in on as to why he thought, I need to end her life or it could jeopardize all of this.
If she had come forward, how much he had to lose.
Correct.
And you know, the people on the stand, there was somebody who testified that David was using some of the money to travel Celeste. And again, what they are trying to show is that he was having a sexual relationship with her yesterday. They showed text messages where they were texting about Plan B.
That's right.
And this is when authorities say
After.
he was already on notice that she was
A minor.
not just a minor, but at the time,
12.
years
Yes.
old.
Right, they had the body cam footage of the cops interacting with him and saying, this girl has gone missing. She's 12 years old. He said, I barely knew her, talked to her only one time. But according to that brief, they extended that relationship over the course of the next year or so.
It's interesting. It's interesting that the knowledge of that age isn't necessarily required to prosecute them for having sex with a minor.
That's right, because that's a strict liability offense. You just by having sex with a minor, it matters that she is a minor, not that you are aware that the person's a minor. However, for special circumstances and lying in wait, that's going to be relevant.
Yeah, and for murder itself, it's relevant because what David is thinking, according to prosecutors, is that, okay, I was on notice, I allegedly continued this affair, and now she's threatening to expose it. So that's their argument. And that's why they say he called her over to his house the night she disappeared and was, as they say, lying in wait. I think that's what the defense is going to challenge. That there is...
Not the killing, but just the lying in wait element?
Because the killing... look, she died. She was found in his trunk. He was driving the car. The judge is going to find probable cause on murder.
Right.
The issue is, will he find probable cause on the special circumstances?
Right.
And that would
Which are
enhance...
critical because that could enhance it to death penalty
Right.
on the table.
And by the way, that doesn't mean that because they find probable cause that he committed the murder, that he's going to be found guilty.
Right. It just means
many
that
steps along to get to that. He has a full trial
this
where his
proceeding
defense will be
just about the judge saying, yes, there's enough evidence for him to stand trial.
And they
there
got to
seems
know,
like there's
and the
more
defense
than enough.
the defense
Yes.
has got to know that, right?
Hey, what's up? I'm Mason Monroe. I'm from Hollywood, Los Angeles, and I was firsthand there at the court watching everything. So honestly, the whole motive with the money situation, I believe that he did do what he did because of the money he was making. He was a 21-year-old making over $11 million. So yes, of course, I think that's why he did what he did. I think a lot of things were interesting. They showed her amputated hand and they brought up the tattoos and stuff like that. What I found interesting and stood out to me was like 2 of the hands were gone, and they said reportedly that David's hand with like his name was tattooed on there. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, that's by the way, that's actually a really important point because she had this tattoo that said SHHH, and we knew that David had a corresponding tattoo.
Right.
We had actually, when they found the body, it was in such terrible condition, they couldn't identify who it was. And we got a tip that it was Celeste.
Right.
And we talked
Contacted
to
her mother.
Her mother, who told us the color of that tattoo, which
had
wasn't
not
out.
been publicized. Right.
And then we called the police, and the next day they identified her.
Yeah.
This is my favorite story of the day. This is unbelievable. There is a pilot in Alaska who has been fighting the state for 14 years. He was flying his Cessna with a passenger, and state troopers came upon the plane in a very remote area of Alaska and saw a 6-pack of beer on plain view. They
So to speak, in plain view. It was in his Cessna.
Fair.
And they saw the 6-pack, and the state trooper said that is a huge violation. The news is, and this may sound like a bizarre Alaska, outback story. It is, but now the U.S. Supreme Court is going to actually hear this case.
And the reason they're going to hear it is because the state is not only has fined him, jailed him, but they want to seize the Cessna, which is worth around $95,000. He says that is an unconstitutionally excessive fine. Now, this went all the way up to the state Supreme Court of Alaska. And you got to hear what they said. This, to me, is incredible. Alcohol abuse in rural Alaska leads to increased crime, disorders such as alcoholism, conditions such as fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and death, imposing substantial cost on public health. And they say it is clear that the illegal importation of even a 6-pack of beer causes grave societal
harm. Here's what I don't understand. How is it an illegal importation? Is it a dry village that he landed in?
It's a dry village.
I get it. It's a dry village.
It's a dry village.
Look, alcohol abuse is a serious problem
They
in
have meth,
Alaska.
They have meth problems in Alaska. And this is a six-pack of beer.
Alcohol is a bigger problem in Alaska than it is most places.
I think that's right. But the pilot is saying, I didn't even know that there was alcohol on the plane. He said he didn't even see it. So the U.S. Supreme Court is now going to decide if this punishment, which would include seizure of his plane, is unconstitutionally excessive. It's fascinating.
Wow. Also fascinating is that there's a dry village and the name of the village is Beaver. You would think it's not dry because beavers, well, maybe they dammed anyway.
And I'm not, God, all I want to say is something from Naked Gun, and I'm not going to say it.
I was thinking it too.
Coming up.
New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani had to admit today he cannot arrest Bibi Netanyahu.
Jacob over at TMZ DC got Ilhan Omar
That was
out.
Charlie, I believe.
Oh, excuse me, it was Charlie.
Yeah, it was Charlie.
If you had a friend that committed war crimes and you had the opportunity to bring them to justice, would you not do it?
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani had to admit today he cannot arrest Bibi Netanyahu when he arrives in New York to go to the UN.
How would he possibly...
This was something that he ran on.
I know, but how would he possibly think? See, I think this is just gamesmanship. He has to know.
You're saying that he talked about it when he was running because he knew it was a popular...
It was a popular thing for a lot of New Yorkers,
Right.
not all,
Right.
but for a lot of New Yorkers. But
he had to know that he didn't have the
They have no
authority.
jurisdiction.
The NYPD would have no authority. He said that they were going to arrest him on behalf of the International Criminal Court, which has indicted Netanyahu on war crimes. So he says we can't do it, but he says, I still believe that the feds should do it. Well, that's not going to happen either because there's no way that Donald Trump
not gonna happen.
is going to do that.
So Jacob over at TMZ DC got Ilhan Omar
That was
out.
Charlie, I believe.
Oh, excuse me, it was Charlie.
Yeah, it was Charlie.
She is all in on the concept.
I was wondering what you thought about Mamdani saying that Bibi should be arrested if and when he comes to New York in September for the UN. Pretty, controversial statement. Where do you stand on that?
It shouldn't be controversial for leaders to say if you are indicted on war crimes by the ICC and you have an arrest warrant, that arrest warrant should be honored. Because this war criminal does need to be arrested. We have seen the ICC do incredible work in holding people accountable, and it is time for us to allow them to do that incredible work on holding the Israeli war criminals accountable as well.
It'd be pretty nuts though for America to arrest a fellow world leader, an ally, as well. Would that not be just crazy?
Well, where is our morality? If you had a friend that committed war crimes and you had the opportunity to bring them to justice, would you not do it? I would.
I mean, look, the ICC is a very controversial body, number one. And number two, it's really interesting because, I'm just going to say personally, I have a huge problem with the way Netanyahu has conducted himself in this war. Right. But at the same time, you have to go back to October 7th. And that doesn't excuse what he did, but contextualizing what he did with that, I think is important to do.
The bottom line is the ICC has no power in the United States. The United States is not a member of the ICC. They have no jurisdiction here. They're wipe your ass with their warrant. It doesn't mean anything here. I'm sorry.
There's a whole thing with the ICC. But, it's so funny because...
And maybe they're not the body to do it, but the point being that should world leaders, regardless of who they're allied with, be held accountable. Somebody, if it's not the ICC, what body is going to hold a world leader responsible when they commit war crimes?
I can give you one. The body politic of Israel. Because there's going to be an election, and I think there are a lot of Israelis that are fed up with this guy and fed up with the way he's handled this and before this, and that I think they're going to boot him out. So that's one way. And the second way is if he loses the election, he's going to be prosecuted, not for war crimes, but there are other things for which he's been investigated. And it may be
but that should be, and if that's what his country, if that's how they handle it with their justice system, this is not about the New York City mayor who wants to make a point trying to enforce, like, fix the potholes and try and fulfill your other campaign promises. Don't worry about.
There is something to say for that.
You're the mayor.
Something to say, but you're right. Clearly, the mayor made a big issue of this when he was running because he knew it was a popular belief. But I don't know how he ever thought he would have the authority to do it.
It's hard to believe he really believed it.
Hi, yeah, so my name is Rowan and I'm based in San Francisco. And I would say that, this whole saga of Mamdani trying to arrest Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not fully over yet. I think that him calling on the federal government to make this arrest, of course, it's probably not going to happen because Trump himself is a war criminal like Netanyahu. He's also in the Epstein files. He's a criminal himself, so he wants to protect his own. But what Mamdani could be referring to here is calling on federal prosecutors to possibly find a case where they could arrest Netanyahu. There are instances of Netanyahu that I could even think of where he has put American citizens' lives at risk, where they could maybe try to charge him, but ultimately,
that's not going to happen.
Even if those cases are there, even if there was a legitimate reason to do it, again, the federal prosecutors operate under the auspices of one.
Right, but even if they didn't, the idea that the federal government would prosecute him because he put American lives at risk by what
there has to be for the war crimes.
Not going to happen.
Right, there has to be an international body that's going to hold him accountable.
Right.
Coming up.
Welcome back to Miami, LeBron James.
Maybe.
The Miami Heat organization posted something saying LeBron James introductory press conference July 27th, 2026. It's sort of a
that means
say that this
means
is going to be on our.
He's coming to Miami.
Or we could pump the brakes here.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live and welcome back to Miami, LeBron James. Maybe.
Probably.
But even if he doesn't go back to Miami, the fact, how it came out that people think he's going to Miami, I just think is delicious. It's just, it's such a horrific screw up on someone's part if he is going to Miami, and even if he isn't. So a post went up that said LeBron James from the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat organization posted something saying LeBron James introductory press conference July 27th, 2026. It's sort of a
that means
to say that this is going to be on
He's coming to Miami.
Right.
We're going to announce it.
It sounds
July
like
27th.
he's made a decision, and that's when and then the announcement's going to be.
Right.
The problem is LeBron has never said anything about when he is going to make his decision on where he's going.
But it feels
like
behind the scenes, maybe he did plan it out, and somebody pushed the wrong button.
Miami is one of the teams that has been talked about.
Yeah. Or we could pump the brakes here. I don't think whoever's running the YouTube page for the Miami Heat knows yet. I think maybe less than 5 people know. And
so
if LeBron does know,
right?
But the guy who's running the YouTube page, I mean, to be completely honest, we have about 4 prepped posts in our CMS right now. 4 different teams of where LeBron is going to go. We're ready to hit publish.
Yeah, I mean, you may be right, but I could also see if he's going to Miami, they would want to have a very clear rollout and not do it frantically the last day. Today, it's 4 days away.
Yeah.
And so they would want to have some.
The explanation that they gave, the organization gave, was that, we were just getting ready in case he makes that announcement. But again, why that specific date? Because I would get that explanation would work if LeBron had said, I'm going to make my announcement on the 25th.
He's made it his decision.
I don't even know that he has.
He told his 2016 teammates when they're on that reunion, he told a few of them he knows what he's doing and the whole plan and everything. That's what Richard Jefferson
already knows.
I may be wrong. I have no basis other than I think he's going to Miami.
But he's never said that he's going to announce it on any particular date.
No, but that makes me feel like that was the coordinated plan and that somebody was getting ready and somebody...
Oh, so you believe he really is going to Miami
yes.
and that this was...
Yes, that it was all pre-planned
There's
to
no
build
way,
it out.
Now,
there's no way it would make it all the way to
Put your Cleveland feelings aside. Does Harvey have a point?
No, because what I'm trying to say is Windhorst or Shams Charania would know way before the YouTube guy at the Miami Heat.
No, but the YouTube guy is important. He is a huge part of the media team.
Does Jackson know every deep secret that
it may not just be the YouTube guy. It may be the people who run PR for them. It may be a whole bunch of people. One person went off the reservation.
Let's try this a different way. If it had been the Cleveland Cavaliers
who had
posted, you'd be like, oh, he's coming back home. Then you would believe it.
Chat thinks he should retire. Enough of this saying you're going to a bunch of different teams, hanging up LeBron.
Here's why he's not going to retire.
He's definitely not retiring.
What are the odds that Bronny's coming with him?
No, I think Bronny's already signed with the Lakers, right?
He is with the Lakers.
But anything can be changed.
Is there a parachute clause there?
JT, New York. I think it's all a PR stunt because nobody makes mistakes like that in this day and age. I think the Heat wanted clickbait, and they got the clickbait, and they put a little pressure on LeBron and give a little pressure to his fans to make him sign with the Heat.
I think that's a bad move. If it is true, you don't want to put pressure on LeBron. If he really is considering you, he may go like, wait, you don't even have your house in order. You're making mistakes like this?
You know what this is? Samuel Alito.
Oh, the post that went up a couple of weeks ago.
When NPR put a post up that he had retired, and it was written by Nina Totenberg, who is a great reporter and knows all the justices. I believe she knows he's going to retire.
So here's the thing.
And somebody pushed the button, and he shouldn't have.
Will Alito retire before LeBron announces he's going to Miami?
That's the predictive market.
Big shocker here. Love on reality TV does not work out.
Wow.
Wow, I know. But there were some misguided...
Get that up on the site.
It's already up. There were some misguided Love Island fans who thought this was it, that last season's winners, Nick and Olandria, were going to be together forever.
Those two?
But they were together for just a year. They have announced
he's the pool boy.
Their breakup. Was he the pool boy?
Yeah, you did watch
this
that
is the one season you watched.
It was the one season I watched.
You were so poo-pooing this, but you actually know, the pool boy.
Can I just say, duh.
Yeah, no, Harvey's right. Harvey is right. Anyone that watched the season, what I don't agree with you guys on
He was flip-flopping.
No.
Wow.
What I don't agree with you guys on, and I'm so mad at Nick and Olandria for feeding into y'all's theory, because love couples or
they didn't feed into a theory. They just broke
because
up.
they were because everyone that watched Love Island knew that they weren't going to make it, knew that they were fake. However, there are so many couples from this show that make it and they're still together and they're still in love. Serena and Cordell.
So they just don't win.
Leah and Miguel.
So right.
Serena and Cordell won, and they're still together. They won 2 years ago.
I can explain it to you that you have to have something in common with the person that you end up with, right? They are all such thirst traps.
That's the issue. That's the issue now.
They can identify.
But that's what they have in common.
Yeah, that's
so then it should work.
So that's what I mean.
You know what
but it doesn't work.
You know what happened? This year's winners look exactly like Nick and Olandria. This year's winner is a black woman and a white man, Trinity and Bryce. I said 2 months ago.
I cannot say that.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can
I
say
said
that.
2 months ago that they do not actually like each other.
Wait a minute, they are the same people.
No, that's a different couple.
Those are two different
couples.
They're exactly the same people.
And let me tell you what's going to happen.
Stop.
Okay, they're not exactly the same.
No, they look
but
very
from a distance,
similar. And the exact same thing that's going to happen is going to happen. I give them 3 to 6 months.
Can you go do that one more time?
Harvey, please do not die on this hill.
Look at him.
Guess what?
Look at him.
I'm stepping away and you're going to die on this hill.
They look
the same guys.
They're gonna break up in a little bit too. They made a pact to win America over, win the money, get the brand deals, and then they'll break up in 6 months.
Let me just say this to you: they don't all look alike.
I didn't say
the white guys.
Justice
the white
for Casey
guys.
and TT.
Coming up.
Look who just ended up coming in.
Every now and then we have a little fun. Someone just drops in. Bruce Buffer, good to see you again,
How are
man.
you, Charles?
How you doing?
How are you, Harvey?
So good to see you, man.
You popped in, you were doing something with TMZ Sports.
This is the world traveler, folks. Everywhere you see anything on TV involving sports, he's there.
Be right back.
Look who just ended up coming in.
Every now and then we have a little fun. Someone just drops in. Bruce Buffer, good to see you again,
How
man.
are you, Charles?
How you doing?
How are you, Harvey?
So good to see you, man.
You popped in, you were doing something with TMZ Sports.
This is the world traveler, folks. Everywhere you see anything on TV involving sports, he's there.
World Cup. Well, you've had the last few months. You had World Cup. You had the return of Conor McGregor.
Yep.
The White House.
The White House.
The White House event. Yeah.
Going to Serbia next week.
Wow.
What was more awesome for you, the UFC at the White House or the World Cup?
I love the UFC.
Oh, don't go
You don't
political.
qualify. We're just talking about the event.
It was an honor to be on the White House. It was an incredible event. When I hit the field at FIFA, it's the biggest sporting event in the world, watched by 1 billion, 2.5 billion people. It brings the world together. It's about love and peace and sportsmanship. That was a bucket list event for me. It was incredible.
You just said something. There's the billions of people. Like you have huge crowds for UFC events all the time and viewing crowds.
Yeah.
But to know that the World Cup is that event that, like you said, billions.
Billions
When you
of
step
people.
out on the field, is there more pressure? Do you go like, I got to get these names right. I got to get the teams right. I got to make sure that I hit the script.
I'd like to say I'm a cool cat before I go on. You know, I don't get nervous, but my adrenaline goes. And when I feel the energy of the crowd coming at me, the way 80,000+ people, the moment I went on camera on the Videotron and they start, reacting, and then to Michael's announcing, my legendary brother and I, he's starting and I'm going and he's going and I'm going, and we open up the show, the game, shall we say. It was just an incredible event.
Has there been, when I was watching, I was like, I couldn't remember if I've seen both of you
one time
announcing
before.
what was it?
Formula One.
Oh, really?
Las Vegas, yeah. I had announced 2 Formula Ones in Vegas, and then we got together and decided it'd be great for Michael and I to announce it together, and we both did it together, and we had a great time. I've been Michael's manager for over 30 years since we, met, because we met late in life, as you know that story. And we've done so many incredible events together, but as far as actually announcing together, Formula One and FIFA.
So, FIFA, I got to say, I've been around a long time, and I don't remember, especially as the United States has divided in two, to see unity, and not just unity in the States, but all over the world. I don't remember unity in the last 10 years like this, this thing.
That, like I said, is the beauty of that event. It brings the world together, right? And like the halftime show was about love and all that went with it. That's what they wanted to exude, and that's what the event's about. And it's like, let's be happy. Let's compete. This is all about.
And everybody was happy.
Everybody
Until
getting
the end,
along.
Then Argentina was not happy.
Well,
at the end.
I understand. I wouldn't have been happy if I was on Argentina's team either.
So what world travels are next?
Serbia.
Serbia?
Yeah.
UFC.
We're having the first.
Oh, you're doing UFC in Serbia?
Yeah, Belgrade, Serbia. We're doing that. Then I'm coming back. Vegas, big show in Philadelphia coming up in August. There's a UFC in Paris. I won't be doing that one. And then I'll be going to Abu Dhabi. All over.
God, that's just unbelievable.
All over the world.
The UFC is just exploded.
You must
everywhere.
have so many advantage miles.
I have them.
You probably
I haven't taken use of them
yet. You
yet.
probably have miles from like several different airlines.
I have miles. I'm not even aware of what I have. Miles. Yeah. As the saying goes, miles and miles and miles.
I used to go back and forth from LA to New York for a couple of years every week. And I got to know the flight attendants' divorces and all the stuff. You must know them so well at this point.
There's times I get on and I recognize the flight attendant from the flight I was on a few months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, we are
glad you stopped in.
Yeah,
always great to see you.
Honest to God, you're like Zelig. I mean, every time there's an event,
you turn on a big event.
up.
There's Bruce.
Thanks, Harvey. I appreciate it very much. I love what I do, and the fans are great, and it's just a very humbling experience, and I'm honored to be able to do all I do.
You're the best, although
great to see you, Bruce.
He used to be my neighbor, and he fled.
Coming up.
Noah Kahan, fresh off asking his fans not to poop in their seats at his concerts.
Remember that.
Is now clearing up some of his lyrics. I guess he's noticed or seen stuff online where people are singing along to one of his new songs on his new album, and they're getting the lyrics wrong.
Be right back.
I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, you're going to sit it out because it's embarrassing to you, because we're going to bring up some lyrics you've screwed up. But Noah Kahan, fresh off asking his fans not to poop in their seats at his concerts.
I remember that.
Is now clearing up some of his lyrics. I guess he's noticed or seen stuff online where people are singing along to one of his new songs on his new album, and they're getting the lyrics wrong. So the song is called Haircut, and there are several lines that people are screwing up.
I just remember what I've screwed up.
Yeah, I was going to remind you too. But the line that goes, glad you got your act cleaned. Apparently, some people have been singing it, glad you got your ass cleaned. That is not it, people. Now, I guess if you want to do your own version, and there are a couple other lines that I can't really say what people are screwing up because
I remember back in the day with Louie, people had the same kind
of. The FBI investigated that.
Louie?
Yeah. Because they're like, oh, it's profane and all this. It was not at all.
Oh my God! Every boy in my junior high sang that.
So
the dirty version?
Yeah.
So I don't. It is weird for an artist to come out and say what the actual. Usually, you just let it go.
Well, I always thought that the guy that Carly Simon was singing about, his scarf was apricot, and I didn't realize that until you told me.
No, it is apricot.
It is apricot.
You used to say
Africa.
African. You used to say African.
That's right. I used to say his scarf was
African. Yeah, it's apricot.
Well, that wasn't me so bad.
I had to. Oh boy.
Hi, my angels. So my name's Rachel. I'm calling from New York City. I think to your point, it's so true. Like, when are singers ever correcting their fans if they're singing the lyrics wrong? And I think because he's like this super wholesome guy, he's from Vermont, he sings about his mom and everything else. He's like, oh, sing it how you want it, because it's like the misheard lyrics are a little bit more interesting than his own lyrics.
Although maybe he didn't want his mom thinking that he had written a song where he talked about his ass getting.
Yeah, there's a connection between that mistaken lyric and him schooling the crowd for not pooping. There's a direct connection. You're welcome.
Maybe, yeah.
You're welcome.
That person.
What else
should
you guys
get it
want to talk about?
Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. I'm talking about the Nicolandria breakup, and honestly, I am so bummed about this news. They never felt like they were forcing it for social media. They genuinely seemed to be in love with each other, supportive, and I really was rooting for them. And honestly, while their chemistry was like palpable in the villa, sadly, influencer schedules and real life just takes over after the cameras stop rolling, and that's the real test. It's not Casa Amor.
We are both stunned at how much you are invested in this couple.
I am.
Coming up.
All right, this is the very last time we are ever going to talk about the fact that Zendaya and Tom Holland may or may not be married.
No, they're married.
They're definitely married. He's said stuff that made it clear.
He made it very clear he's married.
And now, but we hadn't heard from Zendaya, so now we're about to hear from her, and then we're putting it to bed.
Please.
Be right back.
All right, this is the very last time we are ever going to talk about the fact that Zendaya and Tom Holland may or may not be married.
No, they're married.
They're definitely married. He's said stuff that made it clear.
He made it very clear he's married.
And now, but we hadn't heard from Zendaya, so now we're about to hear from her, and then we're putting it to bed.
Please.
This is in Mexico at the premiere for the new Spider-Man movie, and a photog yells out to Zendaya. Listen to her answer. All right, they're married.
Oh, God.
Moving on. It's nice that we can actually just put a saga to bed.
But why didn't they just say it? I mean, it's like this thing with this mystery of are they? They don't have wedding rings on, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, enough. Live happily ever after. They probably have 2 kids by now, right?
It's true, they probably do.
See you tomorrow.